Hello, and thanks to all the people watching. My name is Jose Luis Aparicio. I am a filmmaker, curator, and artistic director of the INSTAR Film Festival. And it is our pleasure to talk today with Saleh Kashefi, an Iranian filmmaker living in Switzerland, exiled in Switzerland, whose short and How Miserable is the Home of Evil we are presenting this year in the competition section of our festival. And we are very happy to screen the film and to talk to Saleh about his creative process, especially in this project. Thank you, Saleh, for joining us, and well, welcome to INSTAR.
Thank you for the invite. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
I want to begin, to break the ice. In order to present the film to the INSTAR Film Festival audience, how would you do it? How would you introduce the film to all the spectators that are going to discover the film now in our festival?
It's a 7-minute short film, which I would say the easiest way to call it is hybrid, which actually uses found footage, images, and sound, but in a fictionalized way of kind of um, uh, predicting a I don't know, fantasy of future of the political situation in Iran. So yes, I guess that's how I would say.
Yeah, because you use the official archive of the website of Khamenei, no?
Yes,
The Ayatollah of Iran,
yes.
and you create something very special that Cuban critic Angel Perez recently called a futuristic documentary, because you kind of project his downfall
Mhm.
with his own images. And talk to me about this. Why are you interested in this kind of hybrid process? And
Mhm.
the work you did specifically with these images and sound in order to convey uh,
Mhm.
this
Um,
hybrid film. Yeah.
so I can tell the story of this film, like a short version. It was last winter when I was about to go back to, when I was supposed to go back to Tehran to shoot my first feature film with Biennale College of Venice, but then the political situation um, uh, got very heated in Iran with the protest, and the cinema of the country kind of stopped. And my Iranian co-producer was arrested, and a lot of other things. My close friend, my father, and a lot of things. So we had to cancel the project, and I had to kind of accept the fact that I cannot ever make another film in Iran. And then I was in Switzerland. I'm doing my master degree here, so I was in my room depressed, and I always had this idea of making a film out of the official archive of Khamenei, which is on his website. I always I mean, growing up in Iran, you see a lot of his image everywhere, all over the city and on television and all. So for me, it was always like an idea to kind of exploit these images in a way. So yeah, I started watching the archive again, um, and very quickly I came up with the idea of this film. Um, being So if you watch the film, I don't know, the people that are watching this video, I don't know if they have seen the film or no, but there is this image of Khamenei alone crying in a room. And that image actually comes from in Shia Islam. We have a month of mourning, which is Muharram, and in this month there is a lot of ceremonies of like mourning the death of like an imam or something. And uh, and that year, because of COVID, he did this ceremony alone. Of course, there is another singer, there is another person beside him who's singing like the sad music, sad mourning music. but I took him out of the frame. It's like 3 or 4 different videos actually, four different ceremonies and events, and I put them together. And yeah, so because it looks like he's crying alone in a room, and it really and it immediately reminded me of this rap song. It's a Persian rap song, Iranian rap song, which his name is Qasem Kojai, like Qasem, where are you? Which is like the last verse, the last couple of sentences of the song, he describes the moment of the revolution, like kind of like getting inside the home of the dictator. And when I watched this video, it reminded me that he's in that moment, in that, like, he's like super miserable. And so yeah, this song was a big inspiration. Is even in the credits of the film, that the film is inspired by this. And yeah, so, and all the sound and all the sound, they come from the protests that were happening in Iran. Like, if an Iranian watches this film, is has a lot more context, a lot more layers, because each of these sounds are like important sounds. Like, each of them have a lot of like context, a lot of background. So an Iranian knows every single of these sounds, and I don't know, it gives a special feeling, I guess. And me, I decided not to put subtitles for the last sequence, because it would have been like just too much, and better to just be there in that moment with him, being miserable in alone. So, and some of the sounds are added, like the Foley detailed sounds, and the reporter, she's wearing a mask, so we could dub it. And yeah, so I guess, like what you said about futuristic, yeah, I definitely, yeah, how I always also describe it is the, like, the near future of Iran. Like, I mean, I don't know, I hope it doesn't happen like this, because it's violent. And I mean, it's already been very, very extremely violent. But um, uh, yeah, I, I can't imagine such a fear easily, and a lot of other people. And yeah, realistic documentary, like films of Peter Watkins. I also read, or you sent me that article, and it wrote also the reference to films of Peter Watkins, so it's a good reference, definitely.
Yeah, it is a great cinematic revenge, because you are using
Hmm.
the images that this power, this dictator has created of himself
Yeah.
and his regime, and you are using it to get back at him, and what you say, no, like project a future that hopefully will be near.
Hmm.
And I think it's also a great work of utopian filmmaking, right? Like this could happen, and this will happen very soon, sooner or later. It will
Hmm.
be his downfall. And I wanted to ask if this film has been screened in Iran in any capacity, or I guess it's very difficult right now. I don't know if film festivals are a possibility there. I guess censorship is like in Cuba, everywhere. But
Yeah.
I'm curious about how an Iranian audience has received the film.
Yeah. So actually, I mean, one a little bit information about situation in Iran. Yeah, there is insane censorship. Like, even the most ridiculous things, like, I don't know, smoking a cigarette, or cursing, or a woman should always wear a hijab, or like, even like having a pet. So, like, really absurd things are not allowed. All of my films have been also banned in Iran, even the ones made in Iran, hoping that they will be screened in Iran. um, so this one for sure has no place in the screening, being screened in Iran, and so my idea was, by making this film, actually, I when I first started making this film, I just wanted to put it on YouTube anonymously, or like send it to people anonymously and share it. So yeah, when I was working on the film, actually, when I had the rough cut of the film and I was working on the sound, I sent it to some like programmers of the Festival Vision d'Orel, and they really liked the film and they wanted the film. So then it was like a decision to make. I mean, I really made the decision way later to put my own name on the film, because it's really a dangerous film to make. This one might be like the worst film an Iranian even can think of making, not even to make. so so it was a big decision to put my name. I was more worried about my family in Iran, of course, and my father especially. So I had to talk with my father to see if he's fine with me putting my name, because me, I would prefer to put my name on it, go present the film, do this protest, not hide, because exactly what they want is from us to be afraid, you know. But this is why also rappers are so inspiring to me. Like in Iran, there's a big rap culture, and they do a lot of political music, political things, but they never hide. It's like, but like filmmakers are always so afraid. We are always like, I don't know, hiding. But I think it's more us than them. You know, if our numbers get more and more people do these kind of films, then yeah, they cannot do much. So yeah, so I really wanted to release this film proudly and say I made it as a form of protest, as part of the revolution. And so yeah, I did that. And then when the film got premiere, I actually when the news of the premiere were out, like when the news of the Selección Oficial were out, I posted it on YouTube, and I posted on my Instagram that, dear Iranians, this film was made for you. Enjoy, watch it. And then Vision Dorel emailed me the next day, Saleh, please take it off. We want the premiere. And then so I took it off. I made it private, but I had a private link on YouTube, and I sent it to my friends in Iran. It was watched a lot in Iran, and they did a lot of like private screenings, like underground screenings. I wrote like just like friends coming together. I don't know, 10 people, 30 people, something like that. And a lot of I still get some texts. Some people like ask me for link, and for links, and I have a actually I have a link that is like available for Iranians, because really this film was made for them, and it's very stupid of me to go like, no, it's festival. And I mean, it's great for the people around the world to watch the film as well. But if Iranians don't watch it, then the whole film is like pointless, I would say. Like a lot of my, yeah, I get a lot of good feedback, especially from friends from my own generation, like really emotional messages I get, that they really felt the film. And so yeah, that is the most precious feedback for me, you know. So yes, that's
Yeah, and that's great, and that's very similar to what happens in Cuba, because
Mhm.
there is also state censorship in all the more traditional film festivals.
Mhm.
We need to do that, to have private screenings in houses or in private spaces, in order to
Definitely.
watch some of the more radical Cuban independent films. Are you there,
Definitely,
Saleh?
definitely, it's like necessarily, like especially right now. I always, it's because right now it's like extremely oppressed cinema. Like even because Iranian cinema is huge, and we have a lot of like celebrities and big film. All of them have lost permission to work right now. Like really, cinema has stopped. Like we have some big film festivals, and all of them are just shit. It's like right now in the last 3 years is like only like, who are these filmmakers, who are these people, so especially right now it's really necessary to make underground films for underground filmmaking. It's like for underground screenings. So like that is why it's really, really, really important. And I hope a lot of more people do this kind of films and start to find new solutions of on how to make films and how to show films. No, there is not only one way that to make films, and there is not only one way to show it as well.
And I wanted to ask you about this idea of making a consciously political cinema, um,
Mhm.
because it brings well, certain possibilities, but also limitations, especially regarding the expectations festivals and audiences have of filmmakers that come from countries with dictatorships and authoritarian regimes. How do you feel about that, and what kind of
Yeah.
digamos, political cinema are you interested in making?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a curse, some kind of a curse to be a Iranian artist, because it feels like you don't have the right to be artistic. You have to be political. That's what is expected from you. Me, I make a lot of films. I make I don't know, one film a month maybe. And these the films that are about Iran are the ones that are seen the most. Um, um, Especially right now when they put the label of artist in exile, for me is like I have only one topic to talk about. I am allowed to only talk about being in exile. So it's a bit sad. It's like I mean, it's a kind of a responsibility as well. I take. Of course, that we should do. But it's some kind of like sad thing that happens also, that I feel like this whole state of cinema nowadays is, or always actually, I mean, no, especially in the last 20, 30 years, that Europe, I would say, has kind of dominated art house cinema in a way. And that is like, okay, European filmmakers are like always develop. They are the artists. They are the ones that are doing like experimental things. They are the ones that talk about love. They are the ones that talk about nature. But the Iranian should talk about the execution. Should talk about prison. Should talk about these things. So it's a bit like yeah, it's a bit hard. And I understand like a film festival has like one place for Iranian film, and of course they give it to the one that matches the flash news they hear from Iran. So yeah, it's a bit of like a complicated situation. But I think definitely it is important to make political films, and as an Iranian, whatever I make will be political. Even if I make a film about a flower, it will be political. Like, oh, an Iranian filmmaker make a film about flower. So, like, what I mean is that the important thing is to us as filmmakers coming from such countries, maybe we shouldn't. So, I mean, this film that is here, it was made as a militant act, it was made as a protest, it was made as part of the revolution. Me personally, I would like to talk about flowers. I also make music, I paint, I do a lot of different mediums. So I need to, otherwise I go mentally insane if I always talk about war and dictators and all. So but the political context and the political philosophy is always there. It is always there. Like, even if I make a film about a flower, like I said, there will be a political look on it. I mean, like, it doesn't necessarily mean to, I didn't need to be directly about it. So there is politicalness. I am a political person. Whatever I try, I come from an oppressive country, living now in like a liberal democratic state that is like called also oppressive in some ways. So and there is this rebel inside that shows it in the work, inside the work. So that is why I think, of course, it is very important to make political films. but not only for the sake. I don't know. I mean, I also I respect any kind of cinema, even if people want only make film as part of political act. I respect, and I also respect artists that make art only as an act of making art. It's both. And but my favorite is one that is balancing the both. Is like finding a way in between. It has art, artistic pureness, essence in it, and it also has some layers and context of human condition. So that's what I was.
And living now in exile outside of Iran, like, well, myself living outside of Cuba, I don't know if there is a strong community of I guess there is a strong community of Iranian filmmakers in exile. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think this situation brings in terms of artistic expression? Do you think there are new possibilities? There are new ways to find in order to keep talking about Iran even from abroad? And what kind of
Yeah.
challenges are you facing personally in this state of being like you said, not this stamp of exile filmmaker that is very complicated to bear
Mhm.
sometimes.
Mhm. I mean, there is a lot of Iranian artists in exile, and more every day. Like even people who I wouldn't have expected, they are coming, which is funny to see and sad. Like people who don't speak a word of English or French or whatever, they are coming at the age of 40, 50. And yeah, I mean, me, I feel like me, I am young. I speak good English, French, and all, and I'm trying to push myself into this European machine of cinema, doing a fucking master that I don't. Yeah. Anyway, and all these things, and so like, so I feel like I am pushing it, but like it's a bit sad to see like a 50-year-old filmmaker who's like really a respected person, and but come and here is like no one. You're yeah, cannot do anything, and like just the way we do cinema in Iran is so different from here. It's just insane, the difference. It's really different here. And so I guess, yeah, but first thing about like the Iranian, I mean, here in Geneva, I feel very alone. I don't have no Iranian friend here. There is only fucking monarchists here in Geneva, or there is people who are supportive of the Iranian government. So it's like I am just like staying at home and being alone. But in Paris, when I was living and I go there a lot for work, there is a lot of Iranian artists in exile, and but this is the sad thing that I feel, that um, I don't think we have the. I don't know why, like we don't have the culture of cooperating, which is very sad. Like um, yeah, I don't know. We have too much competition. I don't know what is it. I really wonder sometimes. Like me myself, I was really happy actually. I was like, oh, it's good. They are coming in here, so it means we can all work together. We can do political activity. We can do some things and have some voice, have some effect. But everybody's just worried about their own project and festivals and bullshit like that. So like. Mm, I don't know. I really hope one day we put aside these childish games and yeah, I come together in some way, you know, like and do some things together because we have some responsibility to that we are here. We have a voice that our coworkers don't have, the ones in Iran, you know. So yeah, but and life is hard, of course. Life is hard. You come here, you need to, me myself, I was in Paris. I struggled to get my bank account for a year. I didn't had bank account. I didn't had insurance for a year and a half. I couldn't rent a home. 2 years living in Paris, I was just sleeping on people's couch. I was like I never managed to get a job. I was working like without paper, so it's like life is hard, you know. So like um, yeah, this is also the thing. Like they in France they gave me a visa of renommée international, like international fame. My visa was international fame, but I was living like a peasant. I was living like a peasant. So so I guess this is also the funny thing about being in exile, you know. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that
yeah,
happens within all communities in exile, because I feel the
yeah.
same sometimes about the Cuban community in exile. Although we have
Mm,
tried to create these connections, these events, this festival, these gatherings, in order to talk about
yeah.
our work and also the political situation in Cuba. But it's very complicated. I think, especially for what you said, you are in exile, you are in a very complicated situation. You have to like kind of figure out what to do with your life. So many new
Mm-hmm.
challenges, and that maybe that sets a tendency to be atomized. Like maybe you are more concentrated in what you need, and you don't think
Mm-hmm.
like collective, like a community. And
Definitely.
I think that we started trying to do that to not only connect Cuban filmmakers in exile, or even Cuban filmmakers that are still living inside the island, but also to connect with other filmmakers from countries that go through like not the same but similar in some ways situations. And because
Mhm.
I think this is also um, a necessity to have like a more transnational dialogue, not only
Definitely.
between our own communities, because that dialogue tends to become stale
Definitely.
at a certain
Definitely.
point. And
Definitely. And I think, sorry,
no, no,
uh,
no,
go
no.
ahead. And
Sorry.
I think like me, I've been fast because like it's been like maybe close to 3 years that I left Iran, and I have a lot of Latino friends, like a lot, and it's so funny that I find this huge connection. It's like as if we are from the same country, or I have the same feeling as I'm talking to a Iranian, like a young Iranian, especially. And I think it's really because we have had the same experience of a president, and also many things. I was in Brazil like 2 3 months ago for the screening of the same film, and I felt like really the people there really understood the film in another way than like the European audience. And I also was really I've been really studying what are the similarities, why this connection between us, because we are very different parts of the world, and many different things. I mean, I don't want to get into it like precise, but yeah, this is the funny thing. This is the thing that I actually really like about like also I know a lot militant Latino cinema and all, so it's something that I really appreciate, this way of perspective on art and life even. But I feel like in Iran we have been oppressed, you know, too much, or making and all. I don't know why that we. I mean, especially cinema, kind of like I don't know. It has lost that militant vibe, I would say. I mean, Iranian cinema, there is a lot of political cinema, but they are never like militant. I don't know. They are more depressing. They are more like, yeah, they are more hopeless. And I understand. But like when you listen to rap, when you listen to rap, militant rap is really like the voice of the revolution, you know. And I think cinema, us especially in exile, should be kind of trying to be like that too, because the people in Iran are already depressed and sad and hopeless, and we should try to make some I don't know, good energy, I guess, out of this anger.
Hmm. Yeah, not just to take the state of things as something given that you cannot change, but also
Yeah.
try to envision that change through cinema. And that's one of
Mm-hmm.
the things I think that your short film in our festival does. So, following on that, what are you working on right now? What are your next projects? And do you want to continue working with thematically with Iran, although you are afar from the country, or do you want to explore other issues or subjects?
I am working on a lot of different projects as always. Like I'm just now distributing a new documentary that I finished after 3 years of editing. Uh, I hope it will be released soon, and I'm doing post-production of another short film. Uh, but the two main projects that I'm working on are my two first feature films. The first one I'm shooting this February in Paris, and it has nothing to do with Iran. It's about Mozart, the composer, and it's more about being an artist and in exile. Actually, it's about because he was living in Paris when he was 22, and it's about being an artist in exile and kind of about like some night spectacle, like particular night which turns into some kind of awakening. So it's more of like there is some political aspects to it, but it's not like that. And the second feature film that I'm working on is actually the feature that I've been working on for 3 years or more, 3.5 years, and is the one that we were supposed to shoot back last winter in Tehran, and now we're finally going to shoot it in Greece. And it's gonna be shot, I think, I don't know, 2025, something like that. Now it has got like it has becoming a big production, so it's very hard to finance. We're really struggling to do, and but that one is like a very much about Iran. Is very much about Iran. Is like about the younger generation of Iran, and how us, not only the youth, but how us Iranians or humans deal with the sad truth of life. I would say it kind of in a fantastic, playful way. It's like a musical, fantastic, theatrical film, and it tells a huge story. It's a huge film. There is like a franchise. I don't know. There can be many spin-offs. It's like so yeah, it's something that I'm very excited about. The other one, I'm really have been working hard on it, and I hope one day I can make it and show it to people. And then after these two, I will take a break from this cinema industry and go and go talk to some birds. I'm tired.
Yeah, well, those projects sound great, and we
Yeah,
definitely need more franchises from the global south cinema.
yeah, yeah.
and, and yeah, new ways to talk about our countries and our history of
Mm-hmm.
oppression, and do that, maybe not in the expected way, no, not in the
Yeah,
depressing
yeah, exactly.
film, serious film way, but also in this kind of
Yeah,
fantasy, musical, historical
exactly.
period films way. I think we need a lot more freedom in militant cinema, from
Exactly.
aesthetic point of view and a narrative point of view. I think
Exactly.
that we need to also break from the chains that, like you said, European art house cinema has kind of set on what we can do as
Yeah.
filmmakers from
Hmm.
countries that are not in the maybe in the center of the on the industry.
Yeah.
So I
Definitely.
wish you great luck with these projects, and I'm sure that we're gonna watch it sooner or later. And well, I wish you great luck also with your master and with your current projects and your life. And I thank you a lot for being here, for your time, and to talk about your film and your next projects. And I also invite all the spectators, all the audience of the INSTAR Film Festival to watch Saleh's film, which is a great short, and we'll be playing in several venues of our festival, and also to look for his other films and other films from this kind of new wave of Iranian cinema, these maybe younger filmmakers that I think are exploring new
Yeah,
paths
I hope so.
in what Iranian cinema can be, right?
I don't know many of them. Like if I,
If you find,
I look a lot. I look a lot. I look
yeah,
a lot for them. But yeah, it's I feel a bit alone as well. I feel a bit alone,
yeah,
to be honest,
I I I
which is
I
sad.
I understand the feeling, but that we are talking about this, maybe that will
Yeah,
also create the
I hope
possibility
so.
of a
I
new
hope
kind of
so.
cinema. Yeah,
I hope, I hope so. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite and for your great festival. And maybe I can make it to the screening in Paris if I am there. And
oh,
that's it.
great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you a lot, and well, I hope that we can see each other soon, and also to keep screening your films in our next editions. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you. Gracias. Bye bye.